I'm delighted to be part of this discussion today. I'm going to kick off by talking a little bit about the situation we're currently in, which is no less than a crisis. So the effects of population and economic growth are creating a rising demand for resources, and that is having a detrimental effect on the environment. In 1950, there were 2.5 billion people on Earth. By 2025, that's going to be 8 billion, and by 2050, we expect that to be 9 billion. Population growth, urbanization, and economic development all increase the demand for essential resources, including water, energy, food, and minerals. While many societal indicators have improved over that period, such as literacy rates, child mortality rates, and the spread of contagious diseases, environmental trends have deteriorated. So, as starters, the concentration of greenhouse gases is causing climate change. Fossil fuel combustion and forest fires result in air pollution, is killing millions every year. We're seeing increasing strain on those essential resources such as fresh water and fish supplies. We're seeing soil degradation, deforestation, extinction of animals and plants, and that's increasing. And as the climate warms, extreme weather is becoming more frequent, leading to storms, flooding, droughts, which are then leading to shortages of water and food and causing human suffering. The United Nations predicts that by 2050, the number of climate refugees we'll see in this world will be anywhere from 200 million to over 1 billion people. So for starters, as businesses and as society, we have to fully and completely understand and acknowledge the crisis that we are now in and rapidly put the brakes on emissions of carbon to achieve net carbon zero as soon as possible. If I put that into context, as a business leader in all of the industries I've been in or I've led, including my current one, if I suspected that my business was going to go bust, that I was going to run out of supplies, that I was going to be in that situation, we would be in immediate emergency action. You know, we'd put something like a gold command system in place. Very clearly, first thing to do is to protect the end customer, then you protect the employees, you try to find what is causing the issue, but you immediately put corrective actions in place. They may not be popular, but at that point in time, you're not talking about popularity, you're talking about existing and doing the right thing for here and now, and then looking at underlying causes and putting corrective actions in place. So as a starter for today, I would say, if I look around at these facts that we know in front of us, are we really treating this as a crisis at the pace, at the energy, at the speed that we should? I don't think so. And I think as businesses, we are tasked with, and we have an obligation to do more and to do better because we know how to do that. And I think we're not reacting quickly enough. So I think first and foremost, our charge is we have to, again, acknowledge, recognize, really pick up the pace and putting the brakes on emissions and putting actions in place. We now also need to start preparing for a world that is with global warming and climate change. So, you know, we are in the middle of this now. It's not going to turn back. So we now have to not only avoid further damage, but we have to plan for a future where we're seeing the consequences of our actions till now. And therefore, we need to adjust our behaviors, and we need to look to adjust consumer behaviors and ways of working in businesses and change our business models to ensure that we can live within our means on this planet to enable a sustainable future. And this requires dramatic changes from governments, from business, from society. I mean, I'm very pleased to say in the UK government was the first country to set legally binding carbon budget target, committing to an 80% reduction from the 1990 levels by 2050. Last month, they announced that they will set into law in June the world's most ambitious climate change target to reduce emissions by 78% by 2035 compared to 1990 levels. And for the first time, this carbon budget will include the UK's share of international aviation and shipping emissions. Businesses must now be ready to act quickly and boldly to deliver those stretching targets. We need to be innovative and to embrace new technologies and ways of working that will enable us to drive down emissions. As CEO of a water company, I am acutely aware of the challenges faced by my sector over the coming years due to population growth and climate change. And a particularly important role from my business sector has in managing the critical natural resource water, and of the direct impact we have on the environment in doing that. And it seems to me that while we are at least talking more about net carbon zero and carbon footprints, we're not talking nearly enough or loudly enough about water scarcity and water footprints. Again, some facts. Water is absolutely, we know, vital to life and vital to everything we do. It's required for all industries: manufacturing, energy generation, textiles, agricultural, food production. 2.5% of the total water on Earth is fresh water, but only a small percentage of that is accessible. Most of it is in glaciers and ice. Fresh water is a scarce resource, and it is unevenly spread across the globe. Globally, over 1.2 billion people are impacted by water scarcity today, and another 1.5 billion people struggle to extract and transport water to where it's needed. Water demand is rising at twice the level of population growth. And again, thinking back to those numbers, 1950, 2.5 billion, 2050, 9 billion. So Houston, we have a problem and we've got to take it seriously. So at a global level, we need to have much more discussion about water scarcity and treat it at least as seriously as net carbon zero. When we talk about carbon footprint, we also need to be talking about water footprints. And then closer to home, we need to increase our pace of actions. So my company, Affinity Water, supplies water to 3.7 million customers in the southeast of England. This is a water-stressed area, and 60% of the water that we use is abstracted from below ground aquifers. Now, these aquifers supply water to very rare chalk streams. There are only about 230 of these in the world, and over 85% of them are here in England. So when healthy, these are beautiful rivers with clear, cool water and unique in the biodiversity that they support. They are rarer than Bengal tigers. However, over the years, we have abstracted water in a way that has deteriorated the environment, causing once fast, healthy flowing rivers to dry up or to be reduced to a light trickle. So to enable those rivers to return to their natural state, we need to end unsustainable abstractions. And last year as a company, we committed to doing so. It will take time and effort, and it will require all of our stakeholders, government, regulators, communities, and customers to work together with us in doing so. But at the very least, we are aware we need to show our willingness to change and to do things differently to do our part. So we have set ourselves ambitious targets for reducing our water leakage and for reducing customer usage. We're also lobbying for legislative changes to make water efficiency labelling mandatory for household appliances. At least give our customers the option to make informed choices when they're making those purchases. In addition to our planned abstraction reductions, we've also voluntarily stopped some abstractions in our chalk streams by collaborating with neighbouring water companies and with our communities, and by changing the way we think and operate our network. And then within our company, we're trying to create a culture of innovation and pace. We're rolling out business excellence with continuous improvement and a fast follower approach to improve our resilience to the shocks and stressors that we know we're going to be facing, and to adapt quickly to the challenges now and in the future. I mean, our regulator, Ofwat, have introduced an innovation fund, and I'm delighted to say that out of 11 projects, we've managed to lead 2 of those that have been successful in that recent innovation fund. So we are trying to create a new culture, a new way of work, a new way of thinking, a certain level of pace and energy that hopefully will lead and drive the sector. And also in trying to engage with our customers, we have found that very difficult. Not all of our customers truly value water. Unfortunately, water is fortunately, water is a cheap resource, which everybody has access to here in the UK. But unfortunately, that means that people may not properly value water and understand exactly where it's coming from and the detriment to the environment if people waste water. So we've been thinking different. We've been trying to think differently about how we communicate with our customers and land our messages in an engaging way that's not patronizing, but that's sort of trying to have our customers work with us. So we have a new campaign coming up quickly. I'm going to make a plug here as we're here. So please check out our new brand campaign. It's at www.saveourstreams.co.uk. So please do your part to help us to protect our streams. So in summary, I would say there are many good things happening in the water sector. There's many good things happening in business that will help to support transition to a sustainable world. As laws are passed, that transition, and as people in society become more aware of the consequences of not changing businesses, we need to adapt, we need to take leadership role, and we need to really grab those opportunities as well that will be associated with that, with pace and with courage. And I'm going to finish with the famous quote, one of my favorite quotes from Darwin. It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. The future of our planet, of our children, of our children's children, depends on how well we now adapt. Thank you.